Today is Sunday, August 24th, and this is your farm garden tour. It is currently 64 degrees.
Burr.
Yeah, it's totally weird to have a 64-degree day in Minnesota in August. I started the day in sweatshirts. Actually, I just put mine back on. Tonight, the overnight low is 44 degrees,
I know.
which is insane.
Well, and it was in the 80s all week up here,
Yeah,
and I was looking forward to coming up and getting in the pool, and
and here we
well,
are.
it's too cold.
It's too cold. So we're at the northwest end of the garden. There's the sunflowers. I've already told Troy. Actually, I was thinking this last night as I was trying to fall asleep. Since our volunteer sunflowers have done so well, I was actually thinking about tilling this up this fall and planting the sunflowers this fall.
I can't give you a reason why we can't do that.
Yeah, well,
What I would want to do though is when we kill everything, do it after that,
yeah,
because we'll till everything and then we can do it at that point. Yeah,
yeah
for sure.
we'll talk and
Yeah.
think about that. The reason that they are so short, actually, we have a flower I see. The
Yeah,
reason
one
they
right
are
here.
so short is I was so late in putting these in. And the volunteer ones have done so well because they started growing as soon as the weather was warm enough for them to pop up. Isn't he cute?
Oh, lightning bug.
I don't think so. I don't know what that is. It's poisonous. Don't touch it. All right, potatoes, foliage still dying back there. I think we've got probably a solid 3, maybe 4 weeks before we need to even consider doing a mass dig on them. Right now, we're just taking what we want and what we need.
The longer they
It's
can stay in the ground, the better.
exactly. The bodacious looks a bit sad. It's been kind of trampled down, but there's a reason for that.
Because we done with sweet corn.
Yeah, it's
We may try some of the glass gem because you're supposed to be able to eat that as sweet corn, but we're probably, I don't know, 2 weeks from that even being ready.
is that ear there not ready yet?
No,
Okay,
it's small, like
okay,
really small.
gotcha. And mom living here Monday through Friday, well, living here full time, she can come out and check that. And if it looks
Hmm.
like it's mature enough and she wants to have it for dinner,
Oh yeah,
she
there's
can do
enough
that.
out in the bodacious here that she could eat off of it as a single person for probably a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the bodacious, for perspective, is roughly 6 feet tall. And you look at the popcorn next to it, the glass gem, I would say that's at least 9 feet, if not 10.
I think it tops out at about 10,
Yeah.
which is what they had said that the glass gem grows to be in the 9 to 11 foot range. So
And in the last video, we did a sneak peek into the Bloody Butcher, which, when it's mature, is going to have bright red kernels. We
well,
peeled one back to take a look at it, and it is not mature
look at
enough
where that
yet.
silk is at. You see it way up there?
Here, you zoom in on it because I'm not sure that I do. Oh, yeah, I see it now. That corn.
That's got to be
I know we talked.
all of 10 foot off the ground. I
We
don't know how we get that one.
might have to chop down the stalk. I was telling mom yesterday when we were walking around out here in the garden, I said, wouldn't it be cool if one year we did the front half, all of that Bloody Butcher, where it's, 10, 12 feet tall, and then another big chunk of the garden as a pumpkin patch? And then we had kids come in and say, this is Paul Bunyan's corn. It's so tall, only Paul can pick it.
Yeah,
And have a pumpkin on your way out.
there you go.
Yeah, we're dreamers. This is the other batch of
It's early sun glow.
early sun glow sweet corn, and it is, I want to say, totally done.
Yeah.
What's left on it for ears, I have zero expectation that anything else is going to mature enough to where it could actually be eaten. Um, we discovered that
Oh,
this is more of an heirloom variety and not, oh, smut,
it's more smut.
not really genetically modified. Oh, that's a poor choice of words. Not bred to be super, super sweet. And
Oh,
that's what we experienced. The corn did well. It grew the way it was supposed to.
ah, it was wonderful
It
corn.
matured the way it was supposed to. It had a good crunch to it without being mushy or chewy.
Right.
But it just wasn't as sweet as I
Mm.
think we're accustomed to for sweet corn. Is that an ear or is that another chunk of smut?
It's an ear.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like
Oh, no,
little,
it is another smut. Good eye.
there's another one behind it.
Oh, no, that one is truly just an ear.
Okay.
No, maybe not.
Ah, there you go. There's someone that Troy works with who uh, has family that quite enjoys that. So
He got very excited when I brought him the first batch.
that's great.
Oh, here's some more.
We're hoping that maybe once it's prepared, he can share with us a taste of it and then share with us also how it should be prepared.
No, I don't think he will because then I won't bring it to him anymore.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Speaking of mushrooms, we'll have to throw in a picture here of the chicken of the woods that you spotted about 12 feet up an oak tree.
Actually, I took a video of you harvesting it.
Oh, that's right. Well,
So this would be a great spot for
yeah.
us to cut to that, and we'll show you that video.
I'm gonna get some photos.
We have what we believe to be chicken of the woods, right?
Yep.
Chicken of the woods.
I'm gonna post this up on the internet. So some of the local foragers love to go.
And
You'll have to smell it.
really, does it smell good? It smells like mushroom?
No, it doesn't smell like mushroom. It's like pouring water out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Holy, what a thing. Look at that thing, it's just dripping like mad. Crazy.
Now it smells kind of mushroomy.
What a thing. That's a lot of mushroom. Yeah, we were out here checking the compost pile and noticed this. So there you have it.
Who knows? Maybe tomorrow there will be another one. I'll come back and check it.
That is
That's insane.
a crazy shroom.
It's sticky. My hand is all sticky.
That, it does smell a little earthy. Crazy stuff. So here we are. This is where we had bush beans. We had Royal Burgundy and we had Maxabelle. And the Maxabelles, I came in here just because we are done with green beans, boy. We left the Blue Lake on the fence. So if anybody really has a hankering for wanting fresh green beans, you can pick through the ones that are overripe and find some that are still on the younger side to eat.
And I'm gonna say that we'll just use those for replanting next year.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. You know, I really like those ones. So
Yep. And next year's garden, I think, is going to look a lot different because we've
yeah,
talked a lot about some changes that we're going to make. We've got the basic structure down here, but I think after you see what our tomato harvest is going to look like, on top of the fact that we still have tomatoes canned in our pantry from last year and the year before, even, um, as well as 42 plus quarts of green beans, as well as, I don't remember, a dozen, maybe almost 2 dozen pints of green beans, that we've got enough stored to where we don't have to do another 42 quarts next year, likely, of
No.
green beans. So it's going to open things up for us to focus on other aspects of the garden and try new things, which I'm super excited about.
And I mean, not that the garden itself is going to get smaller. We're going to scale back on how much of certain things that we're going to do, but we're also going to experiment with some new stuff.
Yep. So since we did get through here in weed, I have noticed that the herbs are doing better. I'm glad we're giving them a chance to actually grow and thrive. Time here, and this is one of the things that next year I think we're going to do a lot of. I had made a quite large seed purchase when one of the seed retailers was running a crazy sale. It was too late for any of those to be planted this year, but I have got some crazy herbs, and I think that there's going to be a lot of focus next year on herbs. So I'm super excited for that because the total nerd in me is interested in learning a lot about herbs, not only for cooking, but for medicinal purposes and general overall health. I'm interested in drying things to make teas. I'm interested in making tinctures and things of that nature. Um, yeah, so lots of research is going to go into that, and we'll figure out what we're going to put in here. So this is interesting. I think. I
Is this
think.
Peppergate
Yeah,
25?
pretty much. So the tag on this, Troy mentions Peppergate 25. What happened last year, I think it was
Was it last year?
24,
No, or was it 23? It was 2 years ago.
there was a bunch of uproar on the internet over peppers because the seeds that were distributed
More,
and sold as peppers weren't always peppers. And we experienced that a year or two ago where I had purchased, I thought they were San Marzano tomato,
and they
and
ended up being Brussels
they
sprouts.
ended up being Brussels
They
sprouts.
no, they were. We confirmed it later on that the packaging on the outside said San Marzano tomato, but the seeds inside were 100% a brassica, and we planted them again, and yes, they were Brussels sprouts. So
So this is Catskill Brussels sprouts. And that does not look like a Brussels sprout. That looks like a kohlrabi. And the only reason I know that we didn't screw up when we labeled it is because I've never purchased a kohlrabi seed in my life. So,
your mom has, but that was years ago.
yeah. So I have no idea. That certainly looks like kohlrabi.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. And who knows what these others are going to turn into.
Because
We'll
I
just,
mean, that does it just looks like one that got elongated, like they
yeah.
didn't bulb out like they were supposed to. I don't know.
So we'll see what becomes of those. The peppers look good. Man, I wish I liked the peppers. I
I
really do.
know.
Because
I wish they liked me.
they're not hard to grow, and they'd be another nice, fresh aspect of the garden that we could enjoy. Here's a very nice bell pepper, and there's another over there. Actually, there's two on that plant. I'm not doing a very good camera job here. These are banana peppers of some sort.
Are those ones your sister
Yeah,
brought
they
in?
are.
Somebody gave those to her, I think.
Anything that has that kind of square tag on it is something that came from Janice, and I foolishly wrote on those tags with magic marker, fully intending on coming back later with the label maker, but I didn't come back with the label maker, and the sun has bleached out the tags. So, best intentions. This guy, we're waiting for him to turn yellow. Might be a long wait. Look at this guy. He is finally getting his reddish brown stripes. So he's not quite ready. I have got this dill right up in my face here, And it's so strong, it's almost going to make me sneeze. Um, so, yeah, these are, I always forget the name is so long. Hybrid pepper and hybrid pepper candy cane chocolate cherry. Nice sweet pepper. Oh, dill. I love it. But that just got all
Oh
up in my
wow, I just
nose.
got a huge waft of it.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Now you're gonna be able to make pickles. So
Yeah. So these are labeled as more Brussels sprouts. We came through and trimmed off the bottoms so that if the Brussels sprouts are going to mature, these look pretty lame. If they do mature, then we've given them space to do so.
I mean, it's a brassica in Brussels. We have harvested well into November.
Yep.
So as long as they don't hard freeze too many times, but you're skipping over.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, those last two dashes in the tarp are the Kyoto Red carrots, and then we have Danvers half long in here. And I know I mentioned this probably multiple times in the videos, but these were seed tapes that, were thin pieces of paper with the seeds embedded in them. And I think for carrots, it's a great way to go. We'll see what the harvest looks like, but they certainly look like they're not going to disappoint. So that's exciting. The broccoli, we did harvest broccoli. Um, there are a few out here that are kind of going to seed. You just snap those off and hope that the plant brings back another viable head that you can harvest. We do have a couple of different varieties of broccoli in here. One is Desicchio and one is Godzilla.
Whichever
And
one this one is,
Troy actually pulled,
Godzilla is the good one.
yeah, Troy pulled a couple of plants and they were the Desicchio. I actually put the tags next to them over there on the ground.
Okay. Yeah.
And what we didn't, you want to go ahead and explain what we didn't like about this?
Well, as the Godzilla, when it puts up it does a giant main head, and then when you cut that off, the heads that come back on are the size of the decent sized broccoli florets you get in the frozen bags. Well, what this was doing is it was all of the shoots it was shooting up were little tiny guys now. So there's not really much you can do with that unless you like broccolini or whatever they
Broccolini.
call that stuff.
Yeah,
And we've got enough other stuff, so it was just like, you know what? And honestly, I whacked it way back. It may grow back.
that's
We don't
true.
know.
It may.
But
But you
I
can tell,
definitely like, you can even tell the difference in the coloration of them.
right. 2 years, no, it was, I don't even remember. Last year, the year before, we didn't do the Desicchio. We did the Godzilla and we did a different variety that I can't think of right now. And I was really happy with the way the heads developed. Like Troy said, the first head that you would get would be quite large. And then the successive ones were about 2/3 that size. So you didn't have all these weird
Which
offshoots.
this one here is a nice example.
Right.
That's
And
going to probably double in size by the time we're ready to pick it.
yep.
This one that was on that one, the very first head that we took off, was probably 4 times that what that one will be. So it was, almost like how big that one was going to get. 4 of those together would have been its main shoot.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you can't let them get too big because they will go to flower overnight on you.
Yep.
So
This one almost looks like, what do you call those things?
I think broccoli is one of the things I want to focus on next year. I want to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And we might have to look at some sort of a covering if it
I
might.
like your hula hoop idea.
We have a hula hoop idea that would, and tulle, the fabric tulle, and
And not the band.
no, not the band.
Mama is not a fan.
We digress. That you can cover your brassicas in to keep the cabbage butterflies from getting in and laying their eggs and then having them chew up your plants.
I was thinking more along the lines of using it as a early greenhouse that we could create. That way we could open them up to access, but we could keep them covered so that they have a better chance over the long term.
Well, it could be dual purpose.
Oh,
In the
absolutely.
beginning, the hula hoops are cut in half, they're staked into the ground, and then you stretch plastic over it if you want to create kind of a little mini greenhouse. And then when it does start to warm up to where you're not concerned about them being frozen or frosted, you could replace that with tulle. Um,
But I really, I don't know that I'm ready to resort to the tool yet. And the reason I say that is, yes, we've had some cabbage moth damage this year. Um, in my lifetime, when I was a kid, we used to grow a lot of vegetables as a kid. Um, and once the cabbage moths hit, you just threw away all your brassicas. There was no saving them. Well, with the exception of Brussels sprouts. When I was a kid, I was convinced nothing ate Brussels sprouts. If a cabbage moth won't eat them, nothing will, right?
mhm.
But we saw early this season we had issues with them. I personally picked one cabbage um, leaf butterfly larva off, the caterpillar, um, and I think you picked a couple. But at the end of the day, we never saw the amount of the caterpillars that you would have thought based on the number of butterflies we were seeing in the area. And I attributed a lot to these marigolds. I think they started finally blooming, which tells me we need to start them even earlier and in bigger pots. But I think with the fact that we have so many birds in the area, that things like that just don't stand a chance. I just wish we could find something that would eat the potato bugs. Seriously
Yes,
thinking ducks.
seriously thinking ducks. Cabbage, we did harvest some cabbage. Took a photo of the harvest, and I don't know if I'm going to slide it in the beginning, the end, or the middle. But I'm happy with our cabbage production this year. We did far more cabbage. These are stonehead cabbage. Um, so they're about 2/3 of the way to about as big as you want them to get right
Yeah.
now. So we did pick the larger ones. Actually, Troy picked the larger ones.
I think I ended up with 10 or 11 of them.
Yep. So melons and vines. Here, let's start here. There's a little melon poking its head out.
A bigger one over there.
Bigger one.
Duke keeps trying to steal my fungus.
So the big thing that's happening, the big thing that's being talked about up here in this neck of the woods is apparently the Farmer's Almanac was predicting that we're going to have a very snowy winter and that it's going to start early and that the first snow could happen as early as September. Well, guess what? September is a week away. And, this is not something we're going to fret about, but something that we need to keep in mind is this stuff needs another month
Yeah.
ish before it's even ready to come out. I mean, the watermelons are doing very nicely, but
But look at the curlicue. I mean, it's.
yeah, so the trick in picking a ripe watermelon
This guy right
is the curlicue closest to, there's the curlicue right there. When that is all dried up and brown and you've got a nice yellow spot on the underside of your melon, then it's ready to go. We are
quite a ways
days.
from that.
Yeah, we are a long ways away from that. Here's some more. These are
Halona.
Halona cantaloupe. So good. And those are ways off too. They're going to be almost twice that size when they're ready to be picked.
Now, they are growing rapidly because those ones this week that are that size, last week were like that.
Right.
So, I mean, they are getting consistent water, so that, and that's something that your mom has been saying this year. She's impressed at the harvest that we're getting, and she attributes it to the consistent watering that it's getting.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at that butternut.
Jesus.
That thing is insane. Nowhere near ripe.
Nope.
But
Now, these, I think you do the same, and that's its curlicue.
yeah, still very green and alive. Butternuts do really well here. Last year we had a good harvest of butternut. My only complaint, the only downfall is they are not tolerant to frost.
No, they
Uh,
have to come out.
yeah, as soon as the mercury dips to right around that freezing point, they've got to come out. Otherwise, they get nipped and they rot. So this guy is
A
a
honeydew.
honeydew. That's a really nice sized melon.
It really is.
And
Again, curly Q.
curly Q is not brown. But look, there's a bunch of nice little ones coming along. For whatever reason, these have been difficult to grow here. Um, so
That's
I'm excited.
again with the whole hula hoop thing. I think I want to do round ones for all of our melons for next year, especially for early season, because we need to be able to get these in the dirt early and keep them warm over the the evenings.
Hmm.
And I think a nice little domed greenhouse effect would help.
This, I've got to say, is probably one of the most fun and one of my favorite plants that we just kind of stumbled across when we first started this whole garden adventure.
Yep.
This is Blueprints. Blueprints pumpkin squash. You can use it for either one. It's a very moist vegetable. This one is actually starting to turn a little whitish. And those things, I want to say that we weighed some in at like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So one pumpkin slash squash will net you a lot of food. Over here we have acorn, and I have never seen an acorn squash this big before either. Check this dude out. Where is he? Right here. He's hiding himself quite well. Oh, yeah, there he is. That's a big acorn squash, man.
It's awesome.
A lot of times, an acorn squash is a personal, you get a personal acorn squash.
Well, I mean, even still, that one is quite large, but you cut that in half, roast it, and that's, I mean, yeah, it's a bit much for one person, but that's how I always ate them as a kid. Is we would cut them in half and roast them and upside down and flip them over, put some butter and brown sugar in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and each person would get a half. So
Right. So here's some of the cabbage that we harvested, and we got a really nice head coming on down here.
the purple,
Yep, of the purple
yeah.
cabbage.
This is the first one we've ever gotten. We've done this is I think our second or third year with the purple cabbage, and this is the first head we're getting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and the guys that are left out here are just, a little more on the small side. There's 9 heads of cabbage that we picked.
Okay.
So yeah, we have plenty to deal with right now. This is quite interesting. This was a head that Troy picked a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, 3 weeks ago because I just no 4 weeks ago because I just started cooking with it.
What's funny is that usually these are done. I mean, we could have yanked the whole plant after we cut it, but it's not hurting anything out here. It looks like it's trying to put on
More
more new
heads.
heads. There's like 1,
Uh huh.
2, 3. So I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have miniature cabbages out of that. We could call them big Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I've seen some Brussels sprouts I was sure were cabbages.
Yes.
Did you see this mess?
Yeah. Take a look at. I tied up that sunflower, so I was trying to figure if they were just falling out or if there were some birds and
No,
critters out here that are eating them. And
that's exactly what it is because those are all opened up and the shell is out of the middle of them.
yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of Brussels sprouts,
We harvested some today.
yep, we did harvest some today. We have enough for a small meal if it's combined with other things.
Oh, we'll do a roasted potato and Brussels sprouts.
We got some interesting cohabitation here. I'm coming up on it, but we've got um, morning glories growing in the beans. There's beans twisted around that sunflower. And down here, I've got morning glory that has twisted itself around the zinnias. And down here, yeah, they're actually open and blooming. So that's kind of fun. These are the megaton cabbage. These are the ones that get to be basketball size. So they got some time yet to sit out here in the garden and get big and get happy. And this is a kind of cool little zinnia. Much different variety than these guys who are, 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Which is why it's going to be funny next year because we harvest all these seed and replant for next year. Most of these were new in these ones,
Hmm.
but there was the ones that are over in our herbs, and then also the ones that are over with the pickling cucumbers are all saved seed.
Yep.
And so if we mix those in with them, you're going to get the high and the low.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Celery. We harvested this one last night. And since the high temperature yesterday was only in the 60s as well, and it was in the 50s overnight, made some corn chowder for dinner and used celery from the garden in it. That
It
was
was
cool.
very good.
Zucchini, yeah, they're still here. They're still producing. We picked off of
Don't
those
sound so
again today as
thrilled.
well. That was my attempt at the zucchini stem horn. If you watch YouTube at all and have come across that, I couldn't get it to work, but it was fun trying.
Leave
The
it.
Blue Lake beans, we're just going to leave them there for now. One of the tasks that we were talking about taking care of is yanking all the peas, but again, they're not hurting anybody. Troy did turn the water off to the peas and the beans, so we're not continuing to water them for no reason whatsoever. And here are the tomatoes. Um, Ripening, but ripening slowly. Everybody over here is a little bit behind. The ones that are actually starting to turn are pretty much in this row. We're taking this video after we've harvested, so you're not going to see any true deep red or deep yellow tomatoes.
There will be some you see that look like they're ready to go, and if we were really needed to, we could pick them.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and I did pick some. We've had a few that have gotten really red, and I made caprese salad for lunch today. Pretty tasty. It was kind of hillbilly caprese salad, though, if I'm honest, because I went to the grocery store yesterday. I could not find fresh mozzarella, so oh my god, this is ghetto, and y'all are gonna laugh, but I bought some higher quality mozzarella string cheese and cut that up and put it in there. Hey, it was still good. So
the only thing that was missing was the bottle of wine.
so true. All right, basil looks good. Came through and pinched off all the blooms. So I'm gonna harvest some of that and start the drying process on it. These are Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes. I don't understand these tomatoes. Um, they're so very cool looking from a color perspective, but they're just not ripe. And because they turn this dark purple kind of eggplant color, it's hard to tell what is ripe and what's not. So you almost have to go by feel.
See, that one feels the ripest out of all of them, but it's still very firm.
Yeah, these are going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're kind of a.
I can't wait till we can actually snip that whole bunch,
Mm,
and you can.
yeah, it's going to be cool.
I
But
need to top it again.
that's
Things
the.
are relentless.
Yeah, some of these tomatoes are quite unruly, but they're starting to ripen, and that's when the real work begins.
I think next weekend we'll have an okay harvest. Give it a month, and we're gonna have more than we know what to do with. But
Hmm.
that's when we start making sauce.
Very true. Down here, our cucumbers and our cucumber thief, these guys are producing well. Like, what the devil? Where did this come from? I came through here and picked 2 hours ago.
When? Today?
Yes.
Did you have your glasses on when you did?
Thanks, honey.
Sorry.
I was going to say, those guys haven't produced as much as I remember them producing last year. The little green light guys have just gone
Absolutely crazy.
insane. And it's kept us in fresh cucumbers for the last couple of weeks. Good grief. And there's one right by your knee. I swear.
This happens like, look at him. He's just chomping
Yeah.
at the bit.
He's already
Yeah,
had one
there's another one.
today. I give up. I'm not a good cucumber picker.
I'm just picking on you, baby. Just picking on you.
I think that's it. So
And
anyway,
a lot of times the big ones go to the dog.
oh, that was a good one.
That was one of the green lights. You said you don't like them when they get that big.
So yeah, that's about all I've got for you in the farm garden tour. Anything else you want to touch on, Troy?
No, no, just making all kinds of progress everywhere on the farm.
Yeah, next weekend is Labor Day weekend. We will be in Underwood, Minnesota, doing the 4th annual Woodchuck weekend,
Uh-huh.
and we'll see if we're able to get a video of the garden next weekend. But
No, we're gonna have to come pick some tomorrow on Monday next week. So
very
got
cool.
a little honeybee. Look at him.
Yep. There he goes. Oh, snapdragons. I was standing and looking at the snapdragons earlier today. You know how they have that little spot that,
Uh-huh.
that makes it the snapdragon? The bee crawled up into the bloom and went inside of it. It was so cool.
Crazy.
And it was just hiding in there.
He knows the trapdoor.
Yes, it does. These are volunteer beans growing on our tea trellis. But yeah, if we get hungry for some more fresh green beans, it's not going to be hard to find them.
No.
So I don't feel bad about pulling out the bush beans because we're just done. I don't think this guy's going to do anything.
The loofah.
This is the loofah. I do want to try it again because it's cool. I also want to try some gourds next year.
Well,
So
we're not going to do nearly as many peas or beans, so we'll have room.
yeah.
Or tomatoes for that matter.
So that's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us once again. This has been your farm garden tour. And until next time, take care.